2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Wayward Sons, Never Split the Party Supernatural RPG. If you guys haven't seen us before, we are a tabletop live stream group that turns their sometimes questionable footage into a podcast. My name is Dustin. I go by the Arbitrary Nerd, and I am the GM for this in most campaigns. I'm going to let my players introduce themselves. I'm going to go into a little bit of background for last week's episode, and then we will get right into the game because I can't think of anything else because I might throw up. I don't feel so great. Yeah? All right. I don't have the overlay up, so I don't know who's next. Go!
Patrick.
I was going to say it's usually me. Hi, I'm Patrick, and you might remember me from such podcasts as this one. And I'm playing me. So.
Good. We last week, because I know you weren't here because you think you're better than us, we tried to talk about kind of the archetype that we're making the character of yourself kind of portray.
Yeah, my character is he's very thoroughly thrown off by the concept that his whole world is a lie, being that he is a skeptic and an arrogant atheist. And all of a sudden he's finding out that simple things such as shifters exist, or changelings, or however you wish to call them. So he kind of went off and started researching this witch and curse, and he's just been kind of obsessively going over perusing as much lore as he possibly can. As a result, he's watched every movie that he possibly could come across. He still hates Enchanted.
How many times did you watch the Blair Witch Project?
Once it was scary.
Half of once.
Alright, my name's Justin. I am currently the not sick Ustin of the group. Although that could change because me and Dustin did share a car the other day, and I'm gonna be very angry if Dustin did get mad at me sick. It's gonna suck. But no, I'm kind of the I seem to be the information guy, I guess, out of the group. That's where I put my skills, at least. And I am not a skeptic for the most part. I kind of accepted all that stuff. That's me.
Next up is Michael.
Chris or Mike.
All right, and I'm Michael. And as far as how I kind of portrayed myself this time, I'm kind of like the frontline guy that protects everybody else that's going to be shooting from behind me. So I'm probably going to get shot. Because
that's how I'm rolling my character. I'm the guy who's probably going to get shot.
It's true.
It's true.
And I'm Chris. I play basically the same person in real life. I'm just a jack of all trades. I'm pretty good at a lot of things. I schooled people in beer Olympics this weekend. It was pretty awesome. I'm not sick, which is also pretty awesome. And I make pretty much every episode. Right, Patrick? Oh, you wouldn't know.
I'm not going to be here. Yeah, I'm actually not going to be here next week.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there, Dustin, if you want to explain that. If we have anything to explain.
One thing. Well, sort of. One, Justin, are you picking up someone's fan in the background?
No.
I don't care if I'm hearing it. If you're not picking up, that's not. I'm just going to say. I'm okay with that. All right, for next week, Patrick, what is the likelihood that your dentist being all up in your grill is goodbye, Justin, is going to cause you to miss next week?
You're muted.
Were you making snippy comments about me?
No, but I was making snippet comments. I was saying, considering the options are I miss or I do not miss, I would estimate my chance of missing at 50%.
That's
So
not,
yes or no?
That's not remotely how things work, but
Are you telling me there are more than two options? Either I get there or I do not?
no, but not each option
there are
is equally
two options.
viable.
Well, that You know that there's only 50% chance of anything happening ever.
True.
Either it happens or it doesn't
true.
happen.
That's not.
That's it.
That's not how fucking statistics work.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
how it works.
That's how they work.
There's at least
New
a
math.
70% chance rocks fall and everyone dies tonight.
And that 70% chance is actually
70%?
50 because there's only
Yeah.
2 options. It
Right,
can either
so you
happen or
combine the
doesn't.
two together, you have a 120% chance that rocks fall and we die. Then
Not
you
even
add on
good
top of
math.
it the number of players that are playing.
Oh, God.
What's that?
No,
120
it's
times
not.
4?
Shut up. It's nothing. All right.
480% chance that rocks fall and we die. Luckily, I'm destined for something, so I'm probably going to.
And luckily, I'm lucky.
Yeah, okay. Saw that one coming. All right.
Minus about 50% chance of each of us.
So you're not going to give me any useful intel on to
I
how I
honestly,
can plan next week?
I've never had this done before. I know they're cutting me open in multiple places. I don't know if I'll be willing to talk or not.
Okay. I'm going to try and
I've never
round
had it
up.
before. I honestly, the best I can tell you is maybe.
I'm going to try and
Man.
round up, see if I can get Nick to play with us next week then, to at least replace, so we're replacing Justin because we know he's not going to be there. So we will still be doing Supernatural. I don't really want to jump off into anything weird right now, and I didn't quite have enough time to prep for 2 people being missing. So I might have Nick, and if I can find a second guest as a backup, I might have a second guest. We'll
Do
see how that
you want me to go missing?
works. No.
Oh, okay. All right. Just throwing that out there.
You're my only good player, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
Michael,
man.
Michael, you're good, but you went to music, so. Oh.
I went
Also,
to what?
music. You went to a concert one night instead of playing with us. My urge to throw up has shifted further south, and I'm not. I might have food poisoning. Who knows? I did eat.
Where did you
questionably-
get food poisoning?
I did eat questionably old chicken nuggets tonight.
Oh.
How old is questionably? Because that stuff lasts forever.
Forever. I don't know. It looked gross, and I ate it anyways. All right, let's get this show on the road. Last week, we started this episode. I'm kind of doing episodes as the monster that they're dealing with, that, series of episodes. Last week, the party was summoned to Arkham, Massachusetts from their various methods of kind of possession or otherworldly inspiration. We can get more into that in a little bit. But they eventually were put onto the apartment of one Caleb Francis, who was murdered in their apartment. And the only real news item that they had from the news station that talked about the case is that they were drained of all blood through many holes. It was very lacking in description because it was trying to be somewhat polite to the deceased. Also, they're having a hard time finding next of kin, so some of the details have been withheld. The party found Caleb's apartment via, following the news station, going to the town of Arkham, which is in Massachusetts, and I am totally ripping from Lovecraft. I'm sorry. And let's see, what else? You guys searched the apartment, found some good intel, and then you searched a storage locker, which had a decent amount of paraphernalia, all seemingly geared towards vampire hunting or killing or defense, as in like cloves of garlic hanging from the ceiling, wooden stakes, crosses. There was a cross also found in his apartment. A number of things that would like fight off Dracula if you watch any of monster flicks.
And through a clever spending of plot points,
Slash through Michael's dedication to fill in the gaps of knowledge from their pseudo hunter mentor Joseph / the spirit that kind of haunts Michael. He has learned about vampires a pretty decent amount, and found that most of the low-run vampires, i.e. what works against Dracula, is absolute bullshit. They have reflections. They can go in the sunlight. It just doesn't feel pleasant for them. They do drink blood, but they don't have 2 fangs. They've got gnarly-ass teeth. There's a whole number of facts that Michael was able to fill in.
and basically say if you see one, you cut off its head.
Yeah, which seems to be a theme. If you guys are hunting vampires, you're pretty good to go. Your clues right now are pretty limited, so you'll probably need to do some confirmation, and you need to actually find whatever it was that done killed our boy Caleb Francis. You had a couple other locations you guys could go to, but I'll push that back to you. The last thing you found in the storage locker, which you were searching late at night so as to attract no suspicion, was Caleb's journal. And as you guys are pulling out this journal from the storage locker, another car pulls into the parking lot of the storage facility. One of you on lookout, we'll say Christopher, he looks like a lookout, quickly recognizes that it is Patrick's car and decides to not raise any alarms. Lets everyone know that Patrick's here, and lo and behold, the one-time Hollister model steps gracefully from his vehicle and saunters on over to where Chris, who does kind of look like a greasy David Grohl, is that what we said last?
Yeah.
A greasy David Grohl is waiting. You, Patrick, have been kept up to date via intermittent text messages while you were doing your own independent research. So you know you've got some pictures of the paraphernalia, so you know that, thinking vampires maybe. You know the deets on Caleb Francis, basically all the stuff I just told the viewers. You also found out via shitty text messages. If you have further questions, feel free to poke the party as you enter into this storage locker, which is a decent sized storage locker, not too big, but probably 10 feet deep, 4 feet wide.
For the purposes of getting back plot points, would you say it would be safe to assume that because I'm incredibly lazy, I probably did not pay that much attention to those updates?
Yeah, you were. So one thing, you weren't there. You did gain 4 plot points back for going into this arc, so you do get plus 4 plot points. But in terms of
4 back, or we gain 4, like back to.
You gain 4 to wherever you
add 4 to whatever your total was. I'm keeping them persistent across episodes. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's what I'm doing.
No, that works for me. Yeah, I would say
getting them quickly, so that's not a problem. One other thing is, you were doing your own independent research into witches, witchcraft, things of that nature, which when you guys have some downtime, we can have a discussion about. It's not relevant to the current case, and you are all feeling rather drawn to it due to your individual, supernatural pushes that you have. Justin with his somewhat ability to see the future, Chris with his retconned ESP, Michael with his haunting / masturbation goes. I'm sorry.
Spirit guide.
And
he's a spirit guide.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Spirit guide.
Spirit guide. What was that?
I said he knows where his hand's going. What's the ghost guiding?
And then Patrick, who is destined. I'll say, just for some quick rundown on how the destiny worked. Patrick was actually in the intermittent months between the ravine and starting this vampire hunt. Was actually in a car accident that looks like it very clearly should have killed anyone in the car. He, however, managed to survive with very little damage. And since then, Patrick finds that he seems a little bit safer than other folks. Not quite unbreakable Bruce Willis style, but there might be something else waiting for him at the end of his tunnel, so to speak.
Yeah, we could test the destiny if we want.
Well, we just point a gun at him to see if it fires.
Well, exactly. Yeah, Pat, come over here.
I mean, it's like, what, a 50% chance of it killing you? I mean,
I hate you all.
Don't laugh too hard, Dusty.
I'm really gonna. Never mind.
We're gonna make him laugh, and then we're gonna hear the awful noise, and then
And I'm gonna clip the hell out of it.
there won't be anything after that. He'll just.
For the folks in chat, hi Pork. If anyone wants to be our Clipmaster Flex tonight, Steve said he's going to miss tonight, so we're going to be needing clip support, I guess. Or Justin can use that nice little time thing to figure out when we should go and do clips ourselves, and I guess I can do the clips.
also, I don't know if that really worked because I can't snap very well, but there you go.
Nah.
What should that have possibly
I don't know.
done?
I'm doing that so I can know to cut this, because then I'll see the little things.
That's
Usually
not.
I have a little clicker.
Didn't you find?
Hey, it doesn't really work when I do the button on Twitch.
Okay. I don't.
So if I just
We could just start doing this again.
randomly,
Yeah.
you're just gonna.
Well, Justin's specifically looking down at the audio, Michael. So
Yeah.
waving doesn't help. We don't. YouTube just gets fucked. Everyone else are trying to like help your precious ears when you listen to our audio podcast, which we haven't published Wayward Sons yet because I'm having some issues getting iTunes to play ball. I fixed it last week and I just did nothing with it. So I gotta actually publish our Supernatural episodes coming soon, probably this week, maybe.
Right.
Now, Patrick, you're walking into this
You said he
storage
was
locker. Sauntering into the storage locker. You guys are all looking. You've just found Caleb's journal, which looks like a gaudy, like a journal you might find at like a Renaissance fair with like a leather cover that opens kind of like you have to pull it open really to get it open, and it's really just awkward to write on because we have modern notebooks with bindings for a goddamn reason, you fucking hipsters. But this one looks like it was bought specifically for the vibe.
For the purposes of my story, what is the reason why I left the research? I didn't find this mission particularly important.
You got some good information. You got some good information. You wanted to hook up with the guys again to chat about it. And every minute that you weren't dealing with this direct issue, you started to feel nauseated, and you could start tasting like copper in the back of your mouth.
You're probably at the dentist.
You're probably at the dentist.
Probably the dentist.
Fucking
Can I find a new dentist? What do I roll?
Hold on, I have my
Sight-based perception.
Alertness, and I'm gonna go with intelligence because you need to be able to identify the appropriate dentist. But then I will give you
No,
sight.
it's not as much fun when you play into it.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, so I
Don't tell him that. God damn it, Patrick.
Yeah, no, he's gonna do it every time we try.
We're just gonna have a stream where we just
How
do the
good
most
is-
mundane things. Like, okay, roll for sitting on the couch. All right.
Roll for holding in diarrhea.
Is there anything good on TV? Oh yeah, Rick and Morty reruns.
How bad
Roll
would it
for
be for us
putting
to
off
turn
the
into
stream another 10 more minutes.
Please start the fucking game.
All right,
Suck my
so
dice.
yeah, well, okay, that's what I wanted to know. Who's the first person I see?
Hello.
Yep.
God,
Good of you to join us, Patrick.
Who's the third person I see?
Oh,
I
is
walk
Pat
up to
there?
Michael. I walk up to Michael.
Okay, you walk up to Michael. I'm not surprised by this.
Does he walk away from you?
Yeah, I'm going straight to.
Assuming I have the journal, I kind of look up at that and go back to the journal.
I don't remember who had the journal, but I'm happy saying that you canonically now have the journal.
Um,
I'm keeping lookout.
so you guys have this seemingly in order.
For the most
So
part,
far,
I
so
guess.
good. The storage locker doesn't really need any more searching. No, the storage locker itself is well in hand. It is late at night. You guys are approaching midnight. I am going to put up a calendar for our show so that way we can track where you guys are. We started in the ravine about now in real life, so we've added a couple months. We're actually in the future. It's kind of weird. Spider-Man on PS4 is fucking awesome, and
It actually bombed.
no,
So
shut the fuck up. I can't handle it.
So I just look at Mike and I go, all right, so I didn't pay attention to everything that was texted at me or most of the things that were texted at me.
What else is new?
Yeah, everyone. Oh, Patrick.
The
So,
information I have is new.
so we're assuming vampires. We haven't been able to confirm it yet, but that's currently what we're looking at.
Great. So we drag their ass out into the middle of the street during the middle of the day. Boom, done.
So everything you basically know about vampires,
It's wrong.
yeah, it's wrong. All wrong.
Pat's wrong,
What else is new?
right?
Okay, so they're not dangerous then.
Wrong.
Ah,
I wouldn't go that.
reality.
They can go out in the sunlight. They don't like it, but they can do it. They have reflections. They don't have two fangs. They have a lot of fangs. And it's actually more like a second set of teeth that come down as opposed to their normal teeth changing. And as far as killing them goes, cut their head off where you're not going to be sure they're dead.
You know, I've noticed that works on a lot of things.
Yeah.
In Joseph's notes, first time you guys were reading it, he also said, cutting off heads, that's a good place to start. So, yeah.
Geez, Pat, didn't you hear the intro that we just did? The recap?
How's
Meta.
hello?
Then I just I start helping out Mike, or I just in the
This
scene,
is
I
current-
fade into the background. I just grab the journal out of his hand and I start reading it rudely.
I crack open a bottle of holy water and just start drinking it.
There was things of holy water, so you start drinking it.
Oh yeah.
It looks.
Is that real holy water though?
It tastes
So
it.
you have no way of knowing. It tastes like standard water, and you guys did find I think a receipt or a business card for a local, like spooky, like
Yeah, magic shop.
I don't
Tastes like
remember.
regular water to me.
I
Chris,
named it
give
something
that to
awful,
Pat.
didn't I? Oh, Harry's House of Haunted Horrors was the
I love
business
it.
card you found.
I love it.
Hey, give Pat some of that holy water. If he starts burning
Get-
up, we
get
know
his
it's.
own. I
we
throw
know
him
it's
another bottle.
actually-
Oh, yeah,
because it's, like,
actually-
it's littered all over the place.
So I feel like we'd actually be a little paranoid about this. When Pat actually walks up, we would immediately check him with a cell phone for glowing eyes.
No, that's fine. I'm gonna say, Michael, you check him with your cell phone, casually or not. Like, do you do it obviously or casually, Michael?
I'd probably do it casually after he takes the book away from me and isn't like paying attention.
Okay.
I just
All right.
Just what, Pat?
His eyes do not reflect in the light. For our
Yeah,
viewers,
as-
I think
as
I've
he-
permanently damaged Michael to the possibility of a betraying character because that's kind of my MO. So this is gonna be great because I started them off with a changeling as their first supernatural monster, which is always fun.
And did try to kill me first.
And for the audio listeners, I pantomimed reading a book, holding a book, and then continuously reading and flipping off Michael in the process. Just as a
To be honest, I would have checked everybody, so it's not like you've been singled out.
I'm going to, since you've done this, Michael, as long as you are there and not incapacitated, I'm going to let you know if you ever encounter one of your party members with the shiny eyes. If you ever are in a
Oh.
weird social situation where it's not like really cool to do that to new people, I won't give it to you unless you bring it up and make it fucking awkward, which is fine. But otherwise, I will say you are paranoid enough that you do check people's eyes, and I'm also not that lazy. I probably won't use changeling again. Probably.
that should also.
Right, but I feel like
Need
some
some
other things
problems
actually
for
get the
him.
glowing eyes.
Am I muted?
No,
No.
we're just not listening to you. Patrick, what were you saying?
I was saying you should also use that as that could be a complication for him too.
That would be more under Chris's, I think, complication of being obsessed with things.
I don't have
I'm
any
just
That's
saying,
me.
if he's
Hello.
Oh.
constantly suspecting us.
Are you paranoid, Michael? I don't remember.
No. Insatiably curious is the closest thing.
I'll allow it to be insatiably curious for now, but we might end up being encroaching on paranoia. The more things that you start having to test everyone for when you interact with them may start making you paranoid. Because the next time you start cutting people with silver when you meet them,
I wouldn't cut him. I would just actually put on like a silver ring or something.
yeah, well, you'll be starting to get paranoid. But I think for now we're just teetering on that edge.
Hey, do we or are we able to just get assets and complications all willy nilly?
No.
Oh, okay.
Assets you purchase with the points that you guys earn at the end of, again, episodes, not our episodes, but like the monster. I don't have a. After you deal with the current monster, I guess that's what I'll call it.
Yeah.
Once you deal with the current monster and you wrap up the monster arc, that's when you'll get points towards advancement. You did get, I forget what the max point of advancements are, but you got them last week. It's not enough to even upgrade anything. You have to
I think it was like 4 or 6, but I think you need like 12 or 16. For
something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
You can upgrade like skills first, and then assets and complications, or something like that, and then attributes is what it is. We talked about that a little bit in the after party.
complications.
I was just wondering if you could just like give us complications if they come up. Like,
So
oh, you're
complications-
paranoid now, so paranoid.
Yes, I
you
can.
Got that. Okay, cool.
Technically,
good
I
to
could
know.
give you assets if there's a really good game reason for it, but complications are a little bit easier
Yeah.
to describe because you guys are slowly doing progressively difficult things. Those are definitely a GM tool. I probably won't be going too much into them, only because I gave you so freaking many. At best, I might actually transfer some of yours, like his insatiably curious. I might tweak and turn to paranoia as opposed to having him have that. I don't know. Is curiosity a complication, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something that I'd probably, instead of like having him now have 2, because you guys have so many freaking complications, I'd probably twist it.
Okay.
Patrick, as you flip through Caleb's notebook, you notice that there's a decent amount written in here. Maybe a month's worth of writing, just quickly skimming through the like different entries. In terms of actually reading it, probably not the best location is the storage locker that the guys broke into while you were away. I'd say read that the next time you guys have a place to meet up and kind of have some downtime.
Read the notebook the next time we have downtime.
More so, get the hell out of the storage locker if you want to read the notebook.
Yeah, I kind of just close it, put it in my pocket, and just kind of give the "let's go" symbol.
Does anyone try and take anything else from the storage locker?
Well,
Probably
garlic's
holy
great.
water.
Yeah. I take some more holy water, take some garlic, think about sauteing something later.
Yeah, garlic's always useful.
It's fresh garlic. It's great.
Not fresh.
Fresh enough.
It's like some of it's a week old, some of it's maybe a month old. Actually, some of it's 2 weeks old because he's been dead for about a week. What you guys know is that garlic is not supposed to work against actual vampires. That is part of the lore that's bullshit. However, if you
Were there any like large sharp?
Oh yeah, you said there was a camera too, right? I have it written down.
Was the camera in his apartment or the storage? Either way, you did find a camera. Oh, no, you got the laptop in the apartment.
Yep.
You did find a camera,
Is it
camera
film or digital?
digital.
Okay. Is there anything on the camera?
Yeah, as you kind of flip through it, like really quickly.
Kind of stop her and be like, let's just bring this with us and check it when we can't possibly get caught for trespassing.
Okay. That's not a bad idea. In terms of options, you guys could grab a hotel for the evening. That would end this day's investigation, and it is, we'll call midnight, so not a bad idea. Or that diner that you guys had listed, that, let's see, Fish and Stuff Diner. I had notes last week. I'm so good.
They're all getting burgers, right?
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Bastards. Yeah, Fish and Stuff Diner. It is apparently 24 hours.
Sweet.
So
Good
you guys
fish
can go to
and
the
stuff.
diner, or you can go to the, like, grab a hotel.
I'm hungry.
Yeah,
Man.
haven't eaten all day.
And I kind of feel like watching Pat struggle.
Don't worry, every place has a disappointing veggie patty.
Their veggie patty.
Only if you spend a plot point.
Their veggie patty is cooked on the same grill with their bacon. So
That's fine.
So that means it's going to taste better than any other veggie patties ever.
yeah. But not taste as good as those Fritos, eh? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Weekend reference. Pat's a vegetarian and accidentally ate animals. Like he just got a bunny and he just fucking bit it. Like,
Oh,
I mean, in like the loosest way, it was non-vegetarian cheese, and I didn't read beyond that, but it was chili something nacho Fritos, so potentially more.
So if you were in Scott Pilgrim, you wouldn't get your vegan powers revoked? Is that what you're saying?
If only I understood that reference.
I think I walked out of that movie before that scene because that movie sucked.
Oh man, I hate you guys.
Don't
I'm not
at
playing
me.
anymore. I'm not playing with you guys anymore.
I really hated that movie. All right, so Chris
you
is.
hate everything. You're not a good judge of anything.
That's true.
That's a good point.
That's fair. Chris has made the decision that you guys are going to go to the Fish and Stuff Diner. Patrick inwardly and audibly groans. And you guys gather up and drive to it. For the guys who were at Caleb's apartment, you realize that this is actually not that far from his apartment. It's maybe 3 blocks down. Would not have been a long walk from his actual apartment building. You're also kind of avoiding the apartment building because you entered and left under false pretenses and totally got
left
caught.
the boat actually without going out the front door.
Yeah, they snuck out the window, and it was a little awkward because one of the other residents of Caleb's floor had interacted with you guys and then interacted with the landlady. So you guys are pretty sure you might have burned that bridge on a traditional level. Now, getting to the Fish and Stuff Diner, it has a perfectly serviceable parking lot. You guys pull up both your cars. You have the F-150 with the extended cab, which is your hunter vehicle, and Patrick, because he was off doing Patrick things, had to drive his own car, which I don't know what Patrick drives.
It's an adorable Honda Fit.
I heard PT Cruiser. Did anyone else hear PT Cruiser?
Yeah,
Adorable
yeah, I
Honda
heard
Fit.
that.
God, I hate.
Yeah, I did mention you were in a car accident, so you now drive a refurbished PT Cruiser.
I
Temporarily,
missed
Patrick.
that
It's fine. It's
episode.
just for this.
Okay.
It's just fine.
It's
I don't
a
know.
rental. You do not own it.
I don't know why this is gonna come up, but yes, you have a rental PT Cruiser for this.
And as we drive around with him, I'm just looking at him with the biggest smile.
I took pride in that. I drive the F-150.
Yeah.
Oh,
So far, I think Michael is primary driver. Is that how it's gonna be?
yeah,
Sounds good to me. I don't like driving.
I love driving.
Well, two of you guys have the driving skill, but I don't know whose is higher, but I also know I don't think Chris cares enough.
I mean, I think all of us
I
have
have
the driving
car
skill.
8. Yeah, I have car 8, but I'm not going to. I feel like Mike's better at driving or something.
I just don't
There-
like to.
there are
not long
other
distances.
situations where you may use your drive skill.
Exactly.
It's not a waste.
A lime green PT Cruiser with wood paneling. Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Who?
It is canon. It is now canon.
Yeah, I'm gonna sign up on that one. Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen.
I feel like he automatically gets complication points for it, though.
Because he stands out.
It's true. He is
I'm
memorable.
already memorable.
Me too.
So
Okay.
guys, do you think we should ask like anybody here if they've seen this guy come in?
I think we should go through what we have first.
Although maybe not at like midnight. I mean, unless the receipt that I found says midnight or late.
Your receipt would have said probably between 6 and 7 p.m. It would have been dinner time.
Okay.
I know you guys haven't looked into that yet, so no, we'll say yeah. We'll call it about 6 or 7 p.m.
All I know is I'm not asking, so
I'm looking at the camera.
That's
I
fine.
mean, I'm looking at the laptop. I'm gonna get that all set.
Sure. You guys pull up a booth. Someone out in the parking lot says, "That is a fucking hideous car." Looking at Patrick's.
I don't park near it.
But I mean,
So,
like Patrick.
I park on like the other side of the parking lot.
the other side of the building entirely.
You guys get a booth inside of Fish and Stuff Diner. Booth is big enough for you guys. We'll call it like one of those corner round booths. Chris is going through a camera. Justin is pulling out a smashed laptop. Actually, did you guys grab the physical laptop or the hard
Yeah, we
drive?
got,
I only pulled out the hard drive.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, you're putting out the hard drive and you're seeing if you can plug it into one of the laptops you guys bring with you. I know you have a man purse that you or a satchel that you have with you. So
Man,
you pull out your laptop and you start looking to replace the hard drive. Michael and Patrick are looking at the journal. Michael wants to read it, but Patrick keeps pulling out of his hands and reading loudly over him, especially right after he read something. This is how Patrick does board game rules as well.
I would actually probably just start ignoring the journal and just prepare for food.
Patrick, why don't you go ask somebody about this guy?
No, hold on. I want you guys shut the fuck up. I want you to actually deal with what you have before I add more and more and more. Jesus Christ. You goddamn. Camera, because it's easier. You have imagery. It looks like the camera was purchased recently, and you have images of his apartment, specifically the window that you guys. You didn't enter through the window. I'm sorry. You guys entered through the door. The door wasn't that secure. The window that was next to the fire escape. Images of different areas of his apartment that look like he's just taking pictures kind of randomly. They're not in focus. The frame is kind of disjointed. We've got a Dutch angle going on there, if you know what I mean. And then for other places that you see pictures of, there is an office that you don't know. It looks like the pictures of the front door, which has an address. You already had the address to his workplace, so you don't need it. I don't. Oh no, I did. It's Envirotech, because I accidentally stole a real company. And
Really, they're in California.
it's fine. Let's see. The other pictures are of this diner and the sidewalk that you guys kind of walked past getting in here. If you guys were to look up the address in, Google Maps and your GPS, you'll actually notice that both his job, the diner, and his apartment building are a straight shot on this one street. He has to walk about 15 minutes to get to work, but the diner is a perfect stop on the way, and he doesn't apparently own a vehicle. You guys haven't really encountered one. There wasn't really a space where you would have seen one. He did everything walking wise, so not a very long area to survey. The people who are in the pictures, there is let's see, the landlady, the neighbor that you guys encountered, because he would have seen him maybe walking down the hallway every now and then. They were on the same floor and same one-shot hallway. A waitress, relatively pretty younger girl who's wearing the uniform of the people that are walking around the diner, and the same as the older gentleman who took your order this evening. And I think that's about it. There might be a couple people at his work, but those shots would be out of focus because it's kind of awkward to take pictures of the people you work out without their permission. Nothing out of the ordinary in the pictures. It just seems to be like he was cataloging where he was going, where he's been, and some of the people he's interacted with.
So there's pictures of a waitress from this place?
Correct.
Well, do we see her around?
Looking around the establishment, you do not see her. Judging by the ambient lighting, and maybe you get a shot of a window in one of the pictures, it's probably, you guys are really late where it's pitch black out. The sun was maybe setting in the pictures where the woman is featured. She's a little shorter, has shoulder length blonde hair, and the kind of over archaic 50s style diner uniform, with a little hat and an apron. She looked relatively pleasant, always with a smile in a couple pictures she's featured in. You would definitely recognize her.
Does she look like she's looking directly at the camera, or does it look like it's being taken in stealth type?
In one of the pictures, she's smiling, kind of has a hip cocked, hand on hip, like she's posing for the camera. Other ones are very clearly taken voyeuristically, maybe a little awkward because how subtle they are. She's talking to another customer. It's coming from a weird angle, it might have been taken under the table. Nothing creepy. He's not getting upskirt shots. It's just that he's always got her face in camera, but it looks like he might have been.
Looks disappointed.
He might. Hold on.
I was just surprised that that's where he went with that. So it's just.
I like Michael. He makes fun of Patrick and not me, unlike everybody else.
Are there any pictures of walls?
Yeah. He got a lot of pictures of her. And again, not all of them were taken with her obvious consent. Patrick, as you read through the journal, there are 3 entries that stand out. I'm going to go ahead and read them. This is a bit of a longer piece, so I will try to read relatively quickly. If you guys could follow through, feel free to flag things for notation. If you have anything that you guys want to come back and ask about after, they may be information earlier in the journal. I'm just giving you the 3 most recent entries because they seem to be the most relative. It's been a month now. I bought this journal from Matthew so I could start documenting these things whenever they happen to me. And now I am pretty sure I'm going to die. Ruth laughed when I told her, but that's what I expected. She rarely takes things seriously. I told Matt, too, considering all the stuff I'd been buying from him. He didn't laugh, but I don't think he actually believed me. I'm pretty sure, I know this sounds stupid, but it's my journal, so fuck off. I'm pretty sure a vampire, yeah, vampire is after me. Monster flick, fang-having vampire, and not the Team Edward sort either. It started with me hearing things at night on my walk back from work. Voices, whispering, and it sounds like wings maybe, like a bat, I guess. You hear those at night sometimes, only this one was big. Then I started getting anemic, waking up pale and looking like more shit than usual. It kept getting worse, but all my doctors told me, as I've listed before, was to lose weight and take iron supplements. I was on WebMD the first time I saw the face in the window. It startled me so bad I fell over in my chair. No one was there when I eventually got up to look, and I didn't get a good look at it, but it was there, and it wasn't my reflection. I started using the spare room more after that. No windows there. Then I started to notice the bite marks when I woke up. Small, tiny, irritated bumps, like a giant fucking mosquito was biting me in my sleep. I gave up on WebMD, started finding more esoteric websites that lined up with my symptoms. Too many signs led to vampires, stupid as it sounds. I didn't really believe it until the symptoms stopped after I hung up garlic all over my apartment. That's where that entry ends. The next entry, handwritten, tight, cramped writing, slightly sloppier than the last entry. Neighbors complained about the smell. I had to take the garlic down. When the landlady saw the other stuff I bought from Matt, she demanded I get rid of it all. Stupid. She's gonna get me killed. Woke up sick again this morning. Stupid. That entry ends. The last entry, sloppier handwriting, almost looks like a mix between cursive and print. Words running together, ink smearing a bit.
Shorthand?
More like if you've ever seen someone who's a little intoxicated try and write, not quite shorthand. It's more they can't really manage picking the pen off the paper.
So usually any of my D&D notes.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Chris's D&D notes. It says, I scribbles, I'm getting worse. Can't concentrate. Work is starting to notice. I've lost weight. Fuck you, Doc. Not sure why I haven't thought of this before, but I'm going to set up my webcam to watch me when I'm sleeping. Maybe I'll see what's happening to me while I sleep. Maybe I'll see the face again. Or the voices will stop. Fucking voices. And that's where the article ends. Or the entry in the journal ends. If you look in some of the earlier entries, he does talk about getting the camera and taking pictures of things, but that doesn't seem to work. He maybe used a mirror walking around town trying to see if everyone had a reflection. Same thing he did with his camera. It didn't seem to work. There's nothing odd about the photos. No like eye flashes like you had with the changeling. And he didn't report anyone not having a reflection, which you guys know is a bullshit way to find a vampire. The one kind of useful intel there, other than some of the timeline stuff, is he what was that?
The
Shopkeep, whose name is Matt, and also that garlic seemed to, well hung around his apartment, did seem to stall some of his symptoms. And potentially the laptop might have some actual useful data on it. You probably know why it's smashed now.
Yep. Well, now I know what I'm looking for.
Just for my my own personal sake, what was the name of this guy again? Caleb, thanks. I was writing Charlie for some reason. Matt is a shopkeep, and Ruth is the...
So Ruth is probably the waitress. Matt is probably one of the shopkeeps at Harry's something or Henry's something.
You are talking about Harry's House of Haunted Horrors.
I actually have that written down. Harry's House of Haunted Horrors. Freaking love it.
And like I said, I totally ignored the texts. What was...
Shit. Okay, we'll ask your question.
They found this Caleb bot?
No. So you would have seen the before you guys left, you would have seen the news, like the news channel report about this person's death. Again, it wasn't labeled. They didn't give Caleb's name. They didn't actually give his address. So they took a clear picture of his apartment building so you could figure it out. And it was a week ago. Apparently, the resident of said apartment had died of mysterious causes. No blood and weird little bite marks all over them. Again, bite marks not clearly described. Justin's theory might have been a bunch of mosquitoes / maybe now we've got vampires thrown in there. The body was found a week later. So the news the news like broadcast was a week after his death when he was found, and you guys showed up the next day, maybe the same day. So yeah, he's been dead for a week. You have not seen the body. The body would be likely at the local morgue, or maybe even the police office. Not really sure how this town runs in terms of where that body would have wound up.
Okay. So it sounds like this guy was a feeder, which is I thought they just get you one and done, and
Not all the time. I mean, there's quite a few vampire movies out there where they just
Have you
kind of
ever-
suck people for a little bit, right?
Ever read Dracula?
From the
Christopher's right.
You ever watch Shiki?
From the knowledge that I have of vampires, what do I know about that?
Vampires. So you had a couple of like prevalent notes that were useful for hunting. That's why you have them. Usually live in packs or hunt in packs, about 8 to 10. Rare to see them lower, but possible. And in terms of their feeding style, they usually do not kill victims outright. Although usually they're the sorts of like kidnappings, like they'll take someone to their lair and feed off of them over a span of days or even weeks sometimes. This particular setup is a little unusual, but there could be any number of reasons why it's slightly off this time.
So why this guy though?
well,
Why anybody?
mean-
What knowledge do I have on how people turn?
How people turn, I'm going to say that that's probably not something that's overly well known. Again, vampires are considered for the most part extinct, at least in America. And that's not something that would come up with the notes that you had. But you have like literature that you could use. It could be from bites or it could be from consuming of blood. Those seem to be the two common themes. And I'd say you can pretty well say it's likely one of those two things.
Hey, wait a second.
In fact,
Sorry.
if it is bites, like, and it's like his being dead might not be a permanent setup, depending on which literature you look at. Again, most literature is bullshit, so that's just something that hasn't been quite codified.
So I suggest, okay, so we clearly need some more information on this. You guys have not been to the morgue yet, which Dustin, you've informed me, but I'm asking them because I wasn't paying attention.
We haven't, but I think we want to stay kind of clear of that.
I mean, if you've got a good way to get into a morgue,
Yeah,
I
without
mean,
drawing attention.
let us know. But
If there's one thing I know, it's paperwork and bullshit in an office.
All right, well, we'll leave that to you. We should probably check out Harry's House of Haunted Horrors, and probably come back here when our Ruth is working.
My suggestion would be someone come with me. Mike, I'm looking at you.
Hey, I'm forgettable.
You can be the Garfunkel to my Simon. We're gonna go to the morgue. Claim to be from something. We can work on that on the drive over. Chris and Justin, if you guys are able to get into this hard drive, I think that's going to be more beneficial than talking to.
oh, definitely.
And then head over to Matt. Let's see how many of these moles we can whack.
Yeah, has Justin been working on that hard drive?
Yep.
You see that due to the physical damage that was done to the computer, it was smashed with like very strong force that not only shattered the screen but did indent the hard drive as well. You might be able to repair it, but it's a bit of a long shot, to the point where, in terms of supernatural RPG technicalities, it would be considered a heroic act to fix it.
Damn.
Heroic is a check of 19 or more.
Man, I suck with hardware anyway, so I'm more of a software guy. But
Okay,
Pat, actually,
well,
you weren't around, but we actually, I think Chris overheard, or I didn't hear it. They were telling me that there have also been kidnappings in the area as well. particularly college students, or at least we heard it from college students.
They overheard a couple of college students talking about kidnappings while they were entering the building where Caleb was found. It doesn't necessarily have confirmed ties to what you're dealing with now, but it is definitely intel of the area. I will say, though, every town in the world has some level of kidnapping or missing persons. I think it was missing persons. It wasn't out and out kidnapping.
Yeah.
There was reports of missing persons. However, that does tie better into vampire lore that Michael has surfaced for feeding practices. But if you were to do a quick Google search of missing persons in Arkham, while there's a decent amount, it's not enough that like the FBI has been called in. It doesn't seem to be like clearly related instances.
Speaking of Google search, Harry's House of Haunted Horrors. What time do they close?
They're definitely closed by like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So you guys could go there in the morning. They open up at 8.
That's long hours.
So you said that where is that located as opposed to like his apartment, this diner, and his job? Is it also on this street?
No, Harry's House of Haunted Horrors. Yeah, Harry's House of Haunted Horrors is like an Arkham landmark. It is, in terms of a walk, it'd probably be an uncomfortable walk. It's something he probably would have grabbed an Uber or a bus to, even if there's public transport in the area. I'd say it's probably about a 15-20 minute drive. But again, that would be a formidable walk on the regs, especially if he's carrying holy water, vampire steaks, garlic and shit. So yeah, probably something you'd drive to.
And something else I wanted to look up is what types of buildings are between his apartment and his work? Like, are there any abandoned buildings?
No. The town is like a small-ish college town. So the buildings are historic Massachusetts style. So what you might see in like Rockport, Mass, where you get like little brownstones or well-constructed houses that have some money put into them. The apartment buildings all are somewhat uniform to what Caleb's look like. And in between, it's more apartment buildings and some residences and some businesses. Everything seems pretty well active. Not like a bumping metropolis by any means, but not a sleepy little town either. It's a college town.
Okay, so I still suggest that Michael and I head over to inspect the body.
Great idea.
Yep.
Once we get some sleep.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably not something you would do at midnight, unless you're planning on breaking into the morgue, which is a viable option if that's your plan.
No, I'll go the paper route first.
Okay.
Yeah,
That'll give me some time to modify my my templates for my FBI badges, which I will hand to Michael on the car ride there, so that he has no input in the agent name I give him.
I will say that most of the time you guys get your FBI badges from the FBI fake dude. What is his name? Alfred Allset. That is something that you missed last week. But I will say that you probably got some skills of the trade for that, because it's a very useful skill. So yeah, what's his agent name?
I'll do it the way.
Okay, you'll work on it.
No, I have it written down. I would just do it the way they do it in the show.
Oh, okay, that's fair. All right. Oh, right, because it's reduced, and that's what you are. For the food, your order was taken by an older gentleman. He looks like he's pushing 80 maybe, and he's working mostly because he always had a job like this. Yeah, like Patrick style. Like lots of throat wrinkles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Guy looks like
especially like Patrick then.
His name badge said Jeff as he took your order. He talked with a bit of a shaky voice, but he got your order out and was capable of getting your food to you in a timely manner. What did you order?
Big old burger.
Fish and stuff.
Do you guys have gluten-free buns?
We have bunless orders.
That's not really the same.
There's no
Are there gluten in your French fries?
I I'm not.
Do you flour your French fries? Do you flour your
normally
French
have
fries?
gluten?
Yeah, if you flour them before you fry them, yeah.
Then I will assume they have gluten.
Okay. All right.
I
I'll get a baked potato with bacon and cheese.
You got it, little fella.
I just order. Can I just have a? I'll just have a plate of garlic fries, please.
Why don't you get a baked potato?
Why don't you have Justin's buns?
You look like a salad eater, fella. You sure you don't want the house salad?
How much meat does it have on it?
I'm pretty sure.
With just a little bit of bacon.
It comes out with Caesar dressing on it.
Wait, is Caesar dressing bad? I didn't know.
Yeah, it's got anchovies.
Anchovy.
It's a Caesar salad there with bacon. Whoever ordered the burger, like, it tastes like a charcoal brick. It's not good.
This tastes
in
like a
fact-
charcoal brick. It is not good.
Good. I'm glad I didn't get the burger then.
The food isn't great. If anyone ordered the fish, it actually is really good fish. They are pretty close to the ocean. It's like your standard, like you get like your Maine lobster or like your Gloucester stuff. You know, probably delivered fresh from Gloucester.
Swordfish.
So, what was that?
Swordfish.
You can probably get swordfish, although it's kind of pricey. Like it's got
That's Patrick's pain.
there's good stuff, is what I'm saying. So if it's fish, anything else, that's not why you go there, and you should be ashamed. It's like going to McDonald's and ordering salad. It's not great. Is that
Ever had the McDonald's salad?
actually no?
Me neither.
we still on the food?
I don't know.
That's your fault. But now you have the NPC.
I quickly look up the nearest hotel.
The nearest hotel is a Motel 8.
Yeah.
Better than a
it
Motel
is-
7.
Yeah, it's at the other side of town, where like there's less apartment buildings. It's between a gas station and a Wendy's, and it's cheap as hell, and you guys can stay.
Is
You
there a
guys,
Walmart near us?
sure.
I'm just gonna
Massachusetts
suggest.
is a fucking
I'm just
Walmart.
gonna suggest we go sleep in a Walmart parking lot. They don't care.
Michael might be poking fun that in my younger days I have slept in a Walmart parking lot.
Who hasn't?
Patrick has raised his hand, audio listeners. Apparently he's the only one who doesn't sleep in Walmart parking lots. You guys get a cheap room, you get fake IDs. For now, I'm going to say your funding is you're just using as little of your own funding as you can instead of being total grifters. If you guys have to go to the grifter lifestyle later on, we'll talk about that.
I don't know what that is.
Grifter is someone who steals or does things that they shouldn't to acquire funds or services.
Like a con
Can't we
man.
just have
I thought it was
Patrick
something as
sells
part of the
himself?
show.
Well, it is. In the show, the brothers commit like copious amounts of credit card fraud. It was mostly credit card fraud. That's usually how they kind of hand wave their expenses.
Again, I vote we just sell Patrick's body.
He doesn't need it.
Literally right here.
As you
I buy
guys
it.
said,
Parts.
what?
I said not your parts, like your organs or anything like that. I meant you just go work a street corner.
Suddenly,
Anyways.
Michael gets excited and the ghost of Joseph appears. I'm not
I
sure
didn't
why.
say that.
I like that
Well, the
Joseph's
idea of money.
Joseph's gonna be my new erection reference for Michael. Whenever Joseph appears, that's what I'm saying. He's got a slight chub. You know what I mean? Right. Moving on from that awkward conversation, you guys shack up in the motel. Anything you guys try to accomplish at night?
Nah, not really. If I can't get the laptop.
I
going.
at least peruse the Harry's Haunted Horrors website, see what kind of stuff that they have.
Sure. Yeah, they specialize in antiques and horror-themed goods. Like around Halloween, they've got a Halloween costume like corner. It seems to cater towards just kind of weird things. It's where you'd go to buy those fake blood packets you want, kind of like a Party City, but it also has like a selection of creepy haunted antique dolls.
Sounds like a place I'd hate.
I send Nick a text and ask him if there's anything about this pot that caters to hunters. Like, is it like a front or something like that?
Oh, the
Or
Harry's
it's-
Haunted Horrors?
Yeah.
No, in Arkham, no. He does know some hunters have made the rounds of the Miskatonic University and library for a variety of things, but in terms of anything else in Arkham, he's in the dark. He doesn't know of anything. For
Nick's a
viewers who
great
haven't,
guy behind the chair, apparently.
yeah, Nick. Well, I mean, it's accurate as far as you know. Nick is their friend who also is a streamer and apparently has a stream dedicated specifically to hunters. So texting him every now and then will get you guys some general intel. All right. So one thing, Patrick, you do mention to the group about what you found, re your witch friend, and again, witch using like air quotes because you're not quite sure. The one theme that you kept seeing throughout witch lore is that their powers come from demonic entities. You looked at like different libraries in the area, like you went to the first public library in Franklin, Mass. You maybe have dipped into a couple libraries over in Providence in your research. And you kept finding some things that seemed consistent enough that, if not true, it's kind of weird that they'd be so like overlapping despite the disparity in areas and years that they were kind of related to. So you got some things like you saw some symbols that look similar to the symbol you found when the other woman disappeared in the hunter you guys met named Ashley. You also found some imagery that looked like the little hex thing that she had left hanging from the tree. So you had a couple of things that helped collaborate or corroborate your past experiences, and you kind of use that as like a guide stone. Didn't get a ton of useful information, but everything seemed to relate to a demonic or higher powered patron, which, as far as you know, flies in the face of Joseph's notes. But Joseph wasn't the hunter you guys kind of have all his materials from, where you got the truck from as well. The late Joseph didn't specialize in witches. Wasn't something he really encountered. But all of his things seem to go against demons being real. He thought they were still mythological bullshit because things like changelings exist doesn't mean the goddamn Easter Bunny exists. He held very firmly to his belief in some things, which is also why Michael went out and sought additional information on vampires as soon as he realized that Joseph's data kind of wrote them off as extinct. It wasn't enough. Joseph was either lazy or stuck in his ways.
Incompetent.
That's what Michael's saying is incompetent.
The one thing I want to do during the night before going to the morgue is to research the city news archives, which should be available on the local paper website, to see if there had been any problems with the morgue or any of the officials at the morgue. I'm looking for histories where cases were botched or something, just for collateral to leverage in our conversations with the morgue once we get there.
The news articles don't go back terribly far. Like if you were ever having to go for historical data, you'd need to go in person to like a library where they have their microfiche and microfilm. Like that's how you'd get to really old newspapers. But what you're looking for is kind of more modern anyways, because you want to know things about their morgue. That's totally online and probably outside of the library site as well. You can go to that, like local news and things like that. For that, I'm going to give you I want to roll from you for our first actual roll for the night. Give me I'm going to call it intelligence, because we're going to see you're trying to parse out what information would be useful for bartering or kind of throwing your weight around. And then in terms of skills, I do not have a list of skills in front of me.
I would argue from what I have.
Yep. And that's what I want you to argue from.
Mm-hmm. It would either be bureaucracy, since I'm looking into an official office.
I kind of like that.
Or I would say politics for the same reason, but probably it would be bureaucracy.
Whatever's your better skill, use that. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Okay, so
no, that's fine. Politics is fine, because what you are trying to do is, I think it works. What was your roll?
Did you roll 2 1s?
Yeah, you did.
You rolled 2 1s.
You
it
rolled
is
2
actually
1s.
Relatively difficult to botch things in Supernatural. However,
especially with a D8 and a D10.
I mean, it's a 1 in 80 chance on this one.
It's a 1 in 50 chance.
No, it's
50-50.
no, even higher.
Justin, shut the fuck up. I will come over to your house And I'm not sure what, but it's going to involve your ear canal, all right? God damn. Not everything is 50% chance.
That's going to be the title. That's the title of this episode.
Not everything is 50% chance.
Sometimes it's 45.
Sometimes it's okay. Thanks. God damn it! You have completely raged me now. I cannot turn this off. I'm getting sweaty and hot, and it's probably not just my hat.
He broke Justin's computer.
I don't think, Patrick, remind me if I'm wrong. The Supernatural didn't support like botches in terms of you did something bad, does it? Botch was just like you definitely did not fucking succeed.
No. It usually requires something bad happening.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Is there like
botches and behavioral botches and extraordinary successes on page 22?
22. Okay. Let's pop up to page 22 and give that.
You mean on that reference material you have?
That we labeled with the same numbers as the actual book because that's not in print anymore. Let's see. I don't have botches. There we go. Let's see. That's more on that looks like combat. So nope. I jumped a page. Sorry. See. The botch is a roll. Your hunter really screwed the pooch. The game master provides the gory details. Okay, fine. Were you using your own laptop or were you using Justin's laptop?
Of course, I'm using Justin's laptop.
Okay. Justin, who had been trying to hook up the hard drive and everything, his laptop was kind of in a ad hoc state. And anyways, as you were typing on it, you reached over to kind of get like I don't know, a little sheet with his password on it because he passed out hard because he goes to bed like a little bit sometimes. You pull your hand back and you spill your cup of excessively gourmet and stinky coffee all over his keyboard, making it sticky, smelly, slightly tasty, but overall gross. And the spark and fizzle that comes from said laptop means that it's not going to work anymore until he brings it into a shop.
Patrick, what the hell?
As Justin wakes up from his bitch-like sleep as he hears
I shut the distance.
That comes from his computer as you pour coffee on it. Because that's how computers happen when you pour coffee on them.
Exactly, yeah. Pop, sizzle.
Yeah.
Snap, pop.
The hard drive was not any more damaged, but your particular interface machine was. So, yeah, you guys are down a laptop right now.
Luckily, we have 3 more because we're all nerds.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that a difficult thing. Justin's porn collection is the most dangerous.
I was just going to say, I'm going to have to restart like all the visual novels.
All of your material.
Damn
it. I'm assuming that I would not get another chance on a different machine.
No. We're gonna say that
you look up.
You do bust out your phone. Fuck it. I'll just look it up there, and it looks like they're pretty squeaky clean, at least as far as we can tell.
I do my best to clean up and hide the evidence, and then I shut it off. I unplug it, and I like slide it away.
Right, with like Lysol.
Not like under anything, not into anything. I just kind of slide it away from my person.
And as you turn, Chris is sitting up in bed while on his Switch, which is down now. He's got the Binding of Isaac playing on the screen. And he's just shaking his head at you.
I told him Java was an exploit.
Bazinga, let's do it. All right. While you guys slowly begin to pass out, then take your time. You guys are hitting 2-3 o'clock in the morning as you are drifting off. And could I get everyone to roll me a quick check? I'd like an alertness roll as your attribute, and then a skill related to either specifically anything you have for perception. If you have just base perception, that's fine, or specifically auditory perception.
All right, so sight-based perception, not so much.
Not so much. Your eyes are closed and you're effing sleep. No eyeballs getting on this. But
I rolled my third one and a 4, so I've got a 5 total.
5 is not going to be quite enough.
I am
a heavy sleeper and have a 2.
Yes.
I rolled a 3, so I'm going to use lucky to re-roll that.
Okay.
Come on, baby. Oh, that is on its side. All right, 8 plus 4, 12.
12. That gets past a hard difficulty. Okay. Anyone else get any close to that?
Hold on. I didn't realize that Roll20 had screwed up on me.
Roll 20, you piece of spoon.
Do you want me to roll for you?
I got it.
We do have a roll window
Oh,
right now. In our
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, I got 16 altogether.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, yowza.
We need Nick to play again, so I stop rolling like shit.
16 is a formidable check. I'm going to say Chris hears it as well, or hears what I want you guys to hear. But Justin, you'll get a little bit more details. Justin, nope. Chris, you
Yes.
hear like a light scratching like around the windows of the motel room. And I'm going to say, like, as it's a motel, it opens right up into like the parking lot, not into like a hallway. So the door and the windows, you hear some scratching, like maybe like an animal or something kind of pawing at it, or just being somewhat annoying. Whether or not that actually wakes you up, I'm not sure.
Justin, who has the light sleeper?
I do.
I was
I
going
have
to
light
say.
sleeper.
So you had another D4.
Oh,
Yeah, you could add another D4. I will say you're going to get everything you need from
3
Formidable.
on
Nice,
that,
a
so-
19.
I had to check it hard, so you critically succeeded on that one. How do I want to play that? I'm going to say that as soon as you hear something, you bolt out of bed. Like the noise triggers you. And not only does it sound like a little bit of scratching, you hear like a distinct slithering sound. Like something dragging on the ground outside. Maybe it brushes up against some fallen leaves or up against like a door jamb or something. And it just sounds like something is not just like passing by your door. Something is actively trying to investigate into your room, though you've drawn the shades and locked the door. What do you want to do now that you've jumped out of bed and kind of have an opportunity to act before the thing does anything else? The sound does anything else?
Oh no! Is anybody else up?
No, and you could wake them up, but
I'm
that
not up.
will.
Chris is up.
Chris is up. Yes, I'm sorry. Chris is awake.
Who's
and
closest
kind
to
of
the door?
He watches you as you stand up.
Who's closest to the window? There's something out there.
I don't care who's closest to the window, but we'll say it's probably Michael because that's kind of his jam right now, as being the front man. So Michael's closest to the window, but Bro is asleep.
All right.
And
Time
at
to man
the
up.
moment, you guys have to
Justin,
do
what's
something
wrong?
pretty good.
There's something slithering out the door and also tapping. Check it right now. Check it quick. Split second
right.
timing. Do it.
Yeah. I pull up my gun.
I love how Justin refuses to check.
Yeah.
Justin's refusal to check, Chris having to get out of bed because he didn't quite get that jump on things. You don't quite see it as do you open the door or the window?
Window.
So you've got like say windows on either side of the door opens to the parking lot. You whip open one of the windows, gun ready, like at the window.
Mhm.
Not gonna punish you for that. Usually pointing a gun out a window in a Massachusetts hotel, not greatly recommended.
Yeah, they
We'll
don't
say-
even have the guns in Massachusetts.
We'll say no one sees you. However, what you do see is like out of the corner of your eye on the lower end, you see something dragging across the floor, the ground outside, and quickly turning around the corner of this motel that you are outside of, or you're inside of, sorry. And what it looks like, because it is dark outside, it's maybe like a light further away that's kind of blinking because it's a Motel 8. Sorry, guys. You see, it looks like long tendrils or maybe even tentacles or thick ropey strings dragging across the ground, quickly like just whipping past the door frame and around the corner. If you need more clarification, because that's a weird thing to describe, I can. But these things are again, you see like maybe the back of something quickly disappearing past the door, and trailing behind it are these like dark rope-like masses that, because of the lighting, you can't quite make out.
I just gotta turn and be like, all right, it's time to get up, guys. Come on, let's go. Come on.
I grab my gun.
Hat.
Pat, you up?
Hat.
I have a 4. I think I'm still asleep.
No, you can wake up. It's okay.
I don't
Slowly and
mind staying
gradually.
asleep.
I also slowly and groggily wake up, and I'm very angry that Chris has
Pat.
woken me up again. Why?
Hey, Pat, there's
I'm-
something dragging
hold on.
outside.
Can I just explain that from that shouting, I am actually just remembering this past weekend, you guys doing that to me while trying to sleep, and I am now actually angry or annoyed.
That's fair.
I just heard Chris go, "Hey Pat," and I'm almost like, "What?" For the
There's
audience
something
at
outside.
home, we recently had a getaway weekend, and until 4 o'clock, they kept shouting, "Hey Pat, you awake 4 in the morning?" Oh, come on.
I was tempted to yell it in my house last night, just as loud as I could, and hoping you would hear it. But I figured Britt would have punched me in the nads, so chose not to. But I thought it as hard as I could.
Mm.
So if you rolled over in your sleep and got a weird erection, it's because you were thinking of me.
I did.
Joseph.
Well,
was there.
anyway, you can be pissed off at me, but I think we got something waiting for us outside, or at least investigating us. And it is not a normal thing. It's not a person, at least.
What did you see?
It was something dragging. I mean, dragging on the ground, like, tentacles, maybe snakes. I don't know. But it was something very much unnatural.
Yeah, it definitely
Sounds
sounded like
like
slithering to me.
I would say Gryffindor. That was dumb.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That was bad.
You fucking Hufflepuff.
I'm gonna cut that joke from the.
Don't!
We don't cut anything, but Justin's gonna go out of his way. To cut
Out of his way.
Okay.
Anyways, is Mike up yet?
Yeah, everyone's
We're all
up.
awake,
Everyone
we're
has
all
like
ready to
gotten
go.
to their feet.
Oh, well.
I take a look out the peephole for the door.
Yeah, there's nothing out there. It's a parking lot. It's poorly lit. It's kind of creepy.
What time is it?
There is a fog that has set in over the town, as it often does. But otherwise, it's just creepy. In terms of time, I'll say that it's you guys were passing out around 3 o'clock. It's probably 5 o'clock in the morning. What time is the sunrise, actually? It'd be a little bit before sunrise.
What time of year is it?
Let's see. You guys started
Is it the summer?
in.
It's done a couple months, so I'd imagine it's October.
I'll give you guys. Let's see. August, September, October. Yeah, late October. Late October. Thank you, Michael.
So what is that, like 6 in the morning?
Is that when sunrise is? 6?
Oh, great! So it's close to Halloween, my favorite.
7:20.
So yeah, we'll call it 6 in the morning.
It's not Halloween, is it? Like, we're
Not
not
Halloween.
really hunting somebody in a freaking costume.
Doesn't matter,
No,
it's late.
no, we're not doing a Halloween episode. You guys are fine. We will say, you know what? I will give you the date. It is October the 18th. That's a Thursday at 6 a.m. in the 2018 year of our Lord.
I don't
Okay.
believe in that, Lord.
You don't? You probably should.
Of my
Yeah.
lord, then. How about that? Of Justin's lord.
Of Justin's
Or
Lord.
Justin's Lord.
The same one that allows vampires, ghosts, changelings.
In childhood cancer.
2 days ago,
Jesus.
I called my brother and said happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That
2
was
days
just a
ago.
thing.
On October the 16th, you weren't a complete like dickhead and you called your bro and said happy birthday. Okay, that's fair.
And moving on.
Yeah.
Listen, it's important because
It
otherwise, like, he would be able to get yelled at later. I'd use it against him because I
This
would.
is-
I'm a bad person.
This is character building, Patrick.
It's not.
But we already are built.
Justin,
What did I see when I looked out the peephole?
Nothing. You saw a foggy parking lot with poor lighting and no sunlight.
Do
just
we
yet.
hear nothing now?
You hear nothing.
All right, let's
Are
get
you
out there and
lying?
check
Are you
it.
just paranoid?
No.
Yeah? Well, where's the thing
No.
investigating us?
What I heard
I
was...
saw it go around the corner.
Yeah, and what I heard was not right. It was not a normal sound to hear.
I mean,
You guys open
you're
the
more
door,
than
right?
welcome to stay here, but
I am trying actively to get people to the door so that we can go and investigate.
Yeah.
Before.
Still Team 6 style. You open the door. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase it. Are you guys going out with guns drawn and ready
Yes,
to go? Okay.
I am.
Going
now,
with-
now that I'm not like
I would
half
say-
asleep, I'm gonna holster my gun.
Yeah, I would say hands on them, but like
Mhm.
not guns blazing. That's a
Mhm.
still hidden because people are probably waking up and coming outside of this motel.
And we'll get you in trouble if you wave guns around in public. I'm just saying.
Dustin, the answer is no. We're not waving our guns around in Massachusetts.
Justin is. Justin's actively said he's waving his gun.
I yell at.
Patrick, the voice of reason for once in his goddamn life, has you holster your gun, Justin, as you guys exit. You're at the ready. You're wary. Maybe got like a pocket knife ready to go or something like that too. But as you go out, you maybe with flashlights, you can search around for a bit, but you won't find anything. Whatever it is no longer there. A quick search of the ground in front of your door, however, does give you some unusual visuals. Whatever was dragging seemed to have left behind a bloody smear, to the point where it appears like, so you got the front of your motel, right? You got window, door, window. At the outside of the first window, like all the way across the corner to the building, there is a bloody streak that does stop at the corner of the building.
Hey, Mike, do you think this is normal?
Yeah, right?
Do you think this is normal, Mike? Hey, Mike. Mike, this must be normal. Do you want to go back to sleep?
Yes, but
All right.
I think we should probably look further.
I want to take a look for any cameras out in the open, any security cameras for the motel. How bad is this motel?
It is a real cheap motel. There is a camera, but it only watches in and out of the parking lot. It doesn't watch the actual motels. There are signs everywhere that say you are responsible for your own safety, and anything stolen out of your vehicles is not the liability of the Motel 8.
Okay. Where are the... How many plot points would it take? All right, are we on a busy road? Or a road with a lot of...
Traffic?
So you guys are trying to use like a camera to see your door?
Yep.
You're better off trying to fuck with the laptop at this point. Like nothing is homed in on a random door in your Motel 8. Like even the gas station that you're sandwiched next to and the Wendy's station, like their cameras aren't looking into the Hotel 8. If you wanted to spend plot points for it, you could, but I'm going to give you like really shitty, grainy footage that may not give you much more info. If you want to spend it, you can try it. No, I'll give you a shot. In terms of this, though, your better bet would be trying to fix the laptop with your plot points.
Okay, then I don't.
Or more research.
Let's follow this trail. That's what
The trail ends at the corner, like the blood streak stops.
It just stops?
Just stops. Yeah, it just
look up
began.
into the sky. Is there anything in there? In the sky.
Trees or anything like that?
At this point, like with the time frame, you guys don't see anything. Maybe there's a couple of like bats fluttering about in the in the still mist, and you kind of see them. How bats have their erratic flight. But beyond that, no.
Do bats come out in the morning?
I will.
It's still not sunlight, so they're still hanging.
I will take a look in the back of the truck for, considering we have to have a lot of different supplies in the back of the truck, I think it's pretty obvious that, of course, we would have swab kits.
Sure, I'll allow it.
I take a swabbing of the material, the blood-like substance.
Oh no, it's blood. Like it's real blood.
Okay, then the blood.
Yeah.
So I take a sample for.
Wow, Pat, you're doing this not squeamishly. I'm impressed.
Right?
I just grumble under my breath something about wanting to kill the witch.
Can I do a perception check to see if I see anything else? Any like hair or
fingernails?
For the most part, if I needed a perception check, I would have
Okay.
I would have asked
All
for
right.
it. So
Yep.
All right. Well, let's start our day then, guys.
So
Where does
what
the
I will say
trail
is,
come
Justin,
from?
by your non-reaction or you're making Chris do the stuff, you
Yep.
missed what would have been your better opportunity to encounter this thing.
on
is what I'm
purpose.
And I don't
Yep,
think you
that's
would have
good.
done anything differently. And also, I'm not saying it was safe for you to encounter this thing right now. I'm just saying,
Yep.
in terms of like seeing the thing, that was the opportunity. Your fucking tremendous success there.
Where does the blood trail start?
literally at like, so you've got, again, I said window, door, window. It starts right at the ground before this window, drags across the floor in front of the window, in front of the door, in front of the second window, and then it disappears at the corner of the building.
What the hell? How could this just start here?
So
Was somebody? I mean, like,
in the
what?
room next to ours, maybe.
Do vampires like bleed?
Were there any other vehicles in the parking lot? Like,
Yeah, the Motel 8's being used. Yeah, it's this is a town not too far from the ocean in Mass. Yeah. There's definitely like
How much blood is in front of our door right now?
Enough that if the owner of the hotel saw it, they would wonder what the fuck you did last night.
I start getting rid of the blood.
Sure.
I start pouring like some of the holy water on it and kind of spreading it around.
Yeah.
Why don't you just use the hose?
Because it's a motel, it doesn't have a hose.
Yeah, I don't know. He's right.
Water bottles.
You could have used like a bucket, like in the hotel room.
I don't care.
But you
I still have holy water.
specifically get the holy water and start spritzing it about.
Yeah.
I will say the blood doesn't start smoking or anything, but you are able to clear it up. Now it just looks like
I just want to get rid. I just think this is regular water.
No, you did fine. Where are you guys heading to next? Are you heading to? So you guys get ready for the morning. You get prepared. You kind of secure your ish. You're going to use this hotel as home base, or are you going to pick up after that visit?
Oh,
Yeah, that's going to be. Yep. Unless we want to trap it. Unless we want to wait for it and maybe it'll come back.
We can
for
talk
us.
about that later.
Okay. So, well, I'm more saying like if you guys are going to rent the hotel or like be done, like check out.
We'll check out and maybe check back in later.
That's fair. Totally fine with it. Not going to stick on that too long.
Do I remember? Do we remember anything about the crime scene where the blood, if there was any blood trails or anything in the crime scene near the window or anything?
There was very little blood. Very, very little blood.
Okay. Also, Pat, I saw that face and I hate you.
What?
Nothing.
He saw your face and he hates you. That's all he said. There's
No.
nothing else after that.
I started talking and Pat makes like the, oh my god, let's just go face.
My nose.
It is relevant, Patrick.
No, I don't.
As me and Patrick go to the truck and we leave the PT Cruiser with the other two.
Pat, you sure you want me to drive this? The insurance is under your name.
It's true.
No, the
I'm
insurance.
not getting
is
in there.
under, and I look through a Rolodex of cards in my wallet. Chris Doring.
He's my favorite.
I'm not sure you know how a Rolodex of cards works if it's fitting
I
in your
know
wallet.
it's not an actual Rolodex.
Okay, all right. But I'm picturing it though, like it's like ridiculous.
Well, as we get into the F-150, I just simply say wait till he sees his computer.
You what? I'm sorry.
I said wait till Justin sees his computer.
What about my computer?
I'm going to wrap that up because you guys are going way off tangent, you fuckers.
Yeah, please.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the fucking morgue.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're splitting the party, is what you're telling me.
Yes, we're splitting the party.
So who's going to the morgue?
Me and Michael, if he agrees to come with.
I do, but I might not necessarily go in once you hand me that ID.
Chris and Justin, where are you going?
Harry's.
Yeah.
Harry's. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go with. We'll start with Patrick and Michael, and I'll try to get through this relatively quickly, and then we'll jump back if I feel like we spend too long on them. You guys look up where the appropriate morgue would be that services the Arkham Police Department. It's not a big town. There's not that many options. So you reliably find your way over to just called the Arkham Morgue. It is not a particularly massive.
Is it a part of like the hospital or is it?
It is.
Because
Are
sometimes
morgues
they're in
usually
like
attached to hospitals. I don't know where you're
Some
going
of
to find that.
If
hospitals have in the basement.
if it's an open investigation or something along those lines, it would probably be at the medical examiners, which would be in the hospital. If the police have wrapped up their investigation, then the medical examiner brings it over to the funeral home. I can't believe I know this.
I'm gonna go with then that it's at the morgue. It's located at the county hospital, the
The
Arkham General.
The ME,
Uh,
as it's called.
Sure. Yeah, you head on over to the hospital. You work your way in. Again, the hospital's pretty easy access. As you get to like the morgue area, however, there are like guards, and there's like a checkpoint area to get in, like where you have to like swipe an ID to get past electronic doors. There's an intercom button also attached to the door for those of you who are seeking access but don't have the prerequisite identification. Is there another method of access you would try to use?
Well, if it's at the hospital, then I would just go in through the front door and go up to the to whoever's the early morning shift at the front desk.
Oh, so you're looking at like someone at reception and try to get in that way. Okay. Yeah, sure. So you approach reception, and I will pull from a nurse friend of mine who'll be working the desk. And it is a woman about your age. She's got curly blonde hair, and she's wearing a name badge that says Angela.
We should probably roll back slightly. And how are we approaching this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
you guys have your
prior
discussion.
to-
I'm sorry, I should give you that
no
opportunity.
problem. So prior to that, we've I am clearly I have a 5 o'clock shadow going on, so I look a little gruff, and I made sure that on the way in we got those cheap, like the cheap local coffee joints, paper cup to go, like you see in every police procedural television show.
Sure.
Greek design. And I've handed you your FBI flip badge thing, and inside it's just the shield. Underneath it says Agent King.
Did you say Kane?
King, like
King?
royalty. King.
K to the I to the end of the G.
Yeah. And I basically say, okay, long story short, just follow my lead. Is the Arkham? It's Massachusetts, so I would assume it's a relatively liberal-esque town. Would that be a fair assumption to make?
Arkham, yes. Yep, pretty
Arkham,
liberal.
it's-
It's a college town, so it's
Okay.
very institutionalized.
Okay, great. I basically say, let's follow my lead and see if we can do this the easy way. And I would
Out of
approach-
curiosity, do we know about who would we basically tell them to call if they need to call our superiors?
Yeah, you've got like it's effectively Nick. It's actually for your contact, you guys can use Alfred Allsat Nesset, who will answer as a variety of different agent handlers. Also as a backup, just in case they're not available. Nick has a line when he is on like Nick at Night. It's a little too early for Nick to be available, so you'd probably be calling Alfred.
Okay.
All right. So I walk in. I'm assuming there's also a security desk. Is it combined with the nurse, or hopefully not?
No, it is not. Security is in a separate room. There's like a guard that kind of hangs out at the front of the hospital, like for when like emergencies come through and they're needed, especially like a gunshot wound or something like that. But no, the office itself is completely separate from reception, which is like it's a little cubed off area with glass windows, a woman sitting behind it, maybe a young dude and a young lady sitting behind there, like working on paperwork, and there's some filing cabinets back there too.
So I walk up to the nurse. What did and I look at her name. What did it say?
Angela.
Angela. And I just say, good morning, Angela. I'm Special Agent Clapton. This is my partner, Special Agent King. We are here just as a general follow-up to look into a case. Not a big thing. And I flash the badge and say, is there any chance that you could assist me? I've not rolled into your hospital before, so I'm not sure where the morgue is.
Go ahead and give me a roll for that. I want willpower and a skill of your choice.
I'm going to use willpower. I'm going to use persuasion or bureaucracy. It's the same roll.
Whatever's better on this one, I'd allow either. Basically, you'd be convincing her of your appropriateness in the bureaucracy, or you persuade her to just
I'm also
play nice.
Yeah, I'm also going to add my lore.
Sure.
So this is a D10 plus a D8 plus a D4. D8. D10, D8.
You just rolled 3 ones.
Holy
Hold on.
crap!
Are you supposed to have one more roll?
Yeah, your
Yeah,
lore
there
is
it is.
technically an additional die, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have had to have.
Yeah, I botched it again.
No!
Yep.
Yeah, my 2 dice rolls were both D1s.
Right, but all your dice rolls have to be D1.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
for the botch. Hold. I actually just had that page up. I can double back to
You're
it.
right. You are correct.
All the dice results come up as 1. All
Okay.
of them.
So I'm
You're
gonna let
using-
that play out, and then we'll see what happens.
What was your third dice roll? Because you're adding lore, right?
It
Yeah,
was a
6
4,
total.
so I've got a total score of 6 instead of 2 and a botch.
Okay, no, that's fine. It was an easy roll. You almost even won it with the 2 1s. It's just you needed to. I was giving you room for critical success. Is kind of where I was going with this.
Understood.
As it stands, you do manage to get past the easy check, mostly because you kind of cite some things like hospital jargon that works for Angela. She doesn't like FBI agent coming in. That's weird. So that kind of sets her off a little bit. And then also like you're just asking where the morgue is. It's like little like there's procedure to follow, and she's tempted to more like go through the book with it. However, you're like talk of hospital jargon. It's early. She's been working a double already.
Needs to get home to her baby.
Needs to get home to her young child. Yeah, sure. You're gonna need a visitor's badge. Hold on, I'll get that for you in just 1 second. And you can follow the signs to the left for the morgue. It's only about a couple hallways down that way, and that's in the basement. Because don't want that up on like the other wards.
No, I understand.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry. What did you say your name was? I'm gonna jot you down on the visitors log.
Agent Clapton.
Okay, Agent Clapton. Do you have a first name, Agent?
Yeah, it is Derek.
Derek.
Oh my god.
Okay, all right. And your friend,
Bobby.
Did you actually give me a first name?
I just said it out loud. Bobby.
Bobby King.
Bobby
Okay,
King and Derek Clapton.
Okay, Bobby King. All right. Awesome. I'll be right back with those visitor passes. She rummages in. She pulls out like a lanyard, visitor pass. She kind of writes down a number in the guest book. She slides it under like the safety window glass to you guys, and she says, "When you come back, give those either to whomever's at this desk. Hopefully, I will be home, or you can give it to anyone in security. Don't walk out with them though, because that would be annoying, and I would get in trouble. So please don't."
Understood.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Angel.
Good luck, guys. If you're here about the bloodless guy, he's real gross looking.
Yeah, unfortunately we are in today's political climate. Anything that looks like it could be, something that upsets the current leadership, like anything, satanic panic or, gangs in this case. And long story short, big guy up top is trying to make sure there's no gang activity. We'll be in and out real quick.
Gang is in Arkham.
Yeah.
All right.
You really picked the wrong topic.
No. Let me give my explanation here in case it's lost.
Nope. I will have her cover for you. She's like, yeah, I guess there's been some kind of folks coming from Gloucester lately. Maybe that'd be. Oh, Christ! I might have to move again.
That gang's in Salem.
What was that?
The background, Donald Trump keeps bringing up MS-13, which is a notoriously bloody gang. So anything that even sniffs of something like that, he would want to be able to say. And we found this case of, did you hear about this bloodless guy in Massachusetts? Horrible thing. We need a wall. That's basically what I'm relying on. Is a Democrat in Massachusetts would probably be like, of course he'd send someone,
Yeah, if Angela wasn't one of my liberal characters, she might have said fucking immigrants just because I knew you were going with it. But Angela is not gonna have an issue with that.
Yeah. So yeah, I got it. in, check it, rule out that it's just some weird thing, and
Grab 4 plot points for the new morning, dealing with stuff, getting past this little checkpoint here. And I'm going to pop over to the other guys. Michael, I know you didn't do too much there. I'll get some stuff for you next up, okay? Chris and Justin, you guys head over to Harry's House of Haunted Horrors. I'm going to say you probably got stuck with the PT Cruiser, which I think is what Chris was getting at earlier. Chris is loving it, but he's not necessarily driving it like safety first, if you know what I mean.
Oh God, no!
just
Basically, like drives like you see people fake driving.
No.
He's really
I'm actually talking to Justin like this.
And for those in our audio podcast, because we sometimes are really shitty at you, he is just moving his hands up and down, kind of like Michael's going skiing with Joseph. That is a no, children.
All right.
I don't do that.
We really have to go to this place. I hate stores like this. They always freak me out. Halloween costume shops, like,
I love them. It gives you cosplay ideas.
I don't like the smell. I don't like Halloween. I don't like.
I love Halloween.
I hate the fake blood. I hate all the fake scary stuff.
Fake blood.
I hate all fake scary stuff. It's not scary. Stop using it. It's dumb.
The shop, as you guys finally park, you have to park on the street because it's like an actual shopping district where there's no fucking parking lots because Massachusetts cannot plan a goddamn town to save its life. There's like 3, even though it's like
the town of Milford. Oh my God, it's awful.
You guys are pushing like 9:30 in the morning. No, sorry, 8:30 in the morning, and it is already full of people parking in the street. Metered parking because fuck you. Some reason you still need quarters in this goddamn society. You bust out. You get to the shop. The shop is made to look like, I don't know if any of you guys are overly familiar with Gremlins, but there is like a little shop in the beginning of Gremlins where there's a purchase made, a gift is bought. Well, this shop is made to look as like kind of like rundown, dingy, in like a slight alleyway, kind of recessed area. You have to actually go downstairs in the sidewalk, like to go into this little shop. And it has like a nice like sign called Harry's House of Haunted Horrors, and it's done as if it's like a decaying like Victorian era wood sign. So it's like well written, but it looks like old and dingy. And when you go in, the smell that hits you, it's threefold. One, you guys are already smelling garlic a little bit, but you get immediately slapped to slapped with a little bit of garlic smell as you walk in because it's something you guys are kind of looking for. The second smell is the garlic might be trying to mask some BO. Kind of smells like people don't necessarily shower too well who run this establishment. And the third smell is a smell like old books, like an old library when you walk in, or like an old bookstore, more like a used bookstore. The smell is slightly musty and slightly, papery. I don't know how to better describe that.
See,
smell.
And that's the smell I hate. Oh my God! And you know what? This place does remind me of the Gremlins place. I hated that movie. That movie scared the shit out of me as a kid. And we have to go in here.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can stay out here
my
if you'd
God.
like.
Huh?
You
No.
can stay out here if you'd like.
I'll go in.
All right. Well, before we go in, we're gonna play the friend. We're the concerned friend type of deal for Caleb. We wanted to learn more about him. We saw his journal. We'll be a little truthful. We're just more trying to figure out what's going on, why he was coming over here.
I can tell the truth. I'm good with that. But
yeah, all right.
Yeah, okay.
Just remember, we're not hunters.
Oh yeah, of course not.
Unless
No.
Unless we're ghost hunters, I mean.
Yeah.
Like that show.
Yeah.
The one where they're always pissing themselves. Anyway, let's go.
Christopher, you're not actually referencing something from the Supernatural television show, are you?
No.
Not purposefully.
Okay. You are. You are, but you aren't. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, all right.
I was gonna be blown away if you had actually taken the time to research or watch the show.
I was actually referencing South Park. So.
Oh no, God no! Get away from that. No, that's a terrible reference, and I don't like it. So. The shop inside, it has a number of areas. It sells costumes. That's they got a Halloween special sign up. Otherwise, it sells things that just look spooky, not spoopy, spooky. So there's a pig hoof in a jar of formaldehyde or something like that.
Just give you $5 to drink this.
No.
God, no. You don't know.
I don't like this place.
And you get like there's like things that like look like you would maybe spruce up a yard for Halloween, but there's things that also look like you'd put in like a haunted house or like a study where you want to just look freaking creepy. And then there are some older books there that are supposed to look like, you know, like the Necronomicon or like creepy spell books that are basically blank pages, but they look all beat up because it's thematic. Then there are things like authentic wooden stakes. Like there's one that's like really nicely designed. It's called Mr. Pointy, and it says it's a real replica from the Buffy the Vampire show. It's like a novelty antique Halloween kitschy shop.
I love this.
My least favorite
right.
place.
How did I get stuck with you?
Kind of sad. I went with Pat. I would have bought.
Yeah.
Towards the back of the store, with plain view of the front door, there is a clerk's checkout area, and there is a younger man, maybe even younger than you guys, working the counter. He is a little bit thicker than you guys, and he's got darker skin than you pale whites, and he's wearing a ill-fitting Dracula-style cape over plain clothes. Like he's got like a graphic tee that has like the camp from the Friday the 13th movies. I can't remember the name of it. Whatever. He's got like the like a cartoonish version of the camp on it. He's got like a cut off cargo shorts, and he's wearing this like an ill-sized Dracula cape over his clothes. And he is just kind of hanging at the register, like drumming his fingers on the counter, waiting for customers.
Does he have a name tag?
No.
I walk up to him, dude. I friggin' love that cape. Are you cosplaying?
Nice
or do you just wear this every day?
Well, you know, I like to dress the part sometimes.
Oh my
you
god,
know?
I love it.
Also, I'm trying to get a raise, and every time my boss sees it, he seems a little bit happier. So, yeah, that's the deal.
I mean, hey, if you need any customer feedback, just tell them I love it. If you want in writing, I will absolutely give that to you. I find myself, I love cosplaying. I just love it.
It's true. He does.
You technically have to buy something to leave any kind of feedback for my manager, but that's cool.
Of course.
Also, cosplay's technically like when you're referencing an actual character, and
I know I create my own characters.
That's the way you cosplay.
Yeah, Chester Von
Well,
Allspring
make
the
your
Third.
own characters. That's playing dress up. There is a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
No, cosplaying is like you're doing a character from a thing.
Yeah. Anyways,
Please don't get him started.
yes, please don't get me started. We'll be here all day. But anyways, we heard about our friend Caleb who passed away. We found his journal. You mentioned a man named Matt. Do you know Matt in here?
The young man looks a bit suspicious as you mentioned Caleb, and he says, "Caleb Francis."
Yes, Caleb Francis.
I didn't think Caleb had any friends.
Yeah, well, we weren't super close. It was something on the internet. You know, he's kind of a weeb. We're all weebs here. You know, played a lot of online games together. We found out literally just the other day that he passed away, and so we figured we'd try to figure out what had happened.
He was our tank.
He was our tank.
I didn't know he played online games. I'm kind of offended he didn't play with me sometimes.
Oh, what do you play?
He lists off some things and ends that conversation because fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm Matt. Yeah, Caleb. Yeah, I didn't know he passed until I saw his apartment on the news. That's a real bummer.
Yeah, well,
He was of late our best customer. I really liked him.
yeah. What?
He was weird. He was
yeah,
really weird, but I mean, it's kind of what this shop gets. Yourselves included.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. What kind of stuff did he talk about over here? Like what was
Vampires. He would not let up about vampires. He had a bit of a stake on for vampires. You know what I'm saying? He asked for all the books we had on him. He asked me for like what I knew about him and what I seen in movies and read in books. So
Bram
like,
Stoker, yeah.
Yeah, it's Bram, but that's okay. We had conversations for hours sometimes because it was nice to pass time with him. Like I said, I'm bummed he passed. But yeah, he got like as many things as he could. He was like Van Helsing up in this bitch, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I know. We found all of his garlic. All of his
A
garlic.
lot of it.
A
Yeah,
lot.
our garlic is just air fresheners, but he was going to the grocery store for garlic.
Fresheners.
And
Huh?
yeah, definitely fresh. Also like holy water too. Do you guys sell like actual holy water, or is
Yeah,
all
there's
novelty as well?
actually there's a parish down the street that Harry he does volunteer work, so sometimes they'll throw him a bone and bless some water for him. They think it's kind of kitschy, but at this point in this kind of cult sphere, any religion they can get out there, I think they're really ready to push, right?
Absolutely, man, absolutely.
That's one hell of an outreach.
Yeah, well, I'll take like cheap prop holy water to Jehovah's Witnesses. Know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Any day, man, any day. Was he like freaking out within the before he passed away? Like, was he like?
Oh yeah,
extra
he was
weird?
a paranoid nut job. Like right up since I met him. Yeah, he's a bit of a loon, but that's what we attract here. So he was great business.
Well, I mean, like, was he extraordinarily weird within the last couple days of his, time here on Earth?
I wouldn't say so, but I don't think we saw him right before he passed. He had like a big haul that he got from us maybe a couple of weeks before he died, and then I hadn't really seen him since. But yeah, he was paranoid. He was pretty sure he was being hunted by vampires, which, I mean, now that he died, I'm wondering if there wasn't something to that. But
yeah, I mean, we heard very similar things, which is kind of why we took the road trip out here, just to kind of settle our nerves. But we really haven't figured much out. You know what I mean? Vampires.
I haven't seen any vampires, if that's what you're asking.
All right.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to believe, though, right? I mean,
sometimes.
Like, what
No,
if that
this
stuff, like...
This is just a job, guys.
Oh. I don't know, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
if
right.
you really believe that, I recommend seeking professional help. There are psychiatrists, and I can recommend you mine, that will help you, back on the path of acceptable normalcy, if you know what I'm saying.
Now you're sounding like that parish down the road.
Did he ever mention places that he'd freaking around here? I just kind of want to check out what his daily life was. He never really talked about his outside the game life, his RL life, so to say.
RL, yeah.
Yeah, he talked about his work sometimes. He liked the people there enough, and he felt bad that he was having problems focusing at work, I think. And he definitely stopped by. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a little quaint place called Fish and Stuff Diner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he'd often say like he was going to or from there when he came here. Seemed like a frequent haunt of his. I'd recommend popping over there. I think there was a girl he might have been kind of had the hots for. So.
Oh, yeah? What was her name? You know?
No, man, I don't pry.
Yeah, I hear you. Anyway, I think we're gonna we'll maybe pop by. I'm hungry. You hungry?
I could go for some fish and stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, you've been great. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna buy some blood packets from you.
Yeah, sure. That's gonna be over in the Halloween costume area. Or if you want the good stuff,
Yes, I do.
this is Harry's special blood packs. I got them behind the counter. They're just $10 a pack. You put these bad boys in your lips. You don't even have to give them much pressure at all, and you will be spitting blood.
I'll take 2.
There you go, $20, no tax, because, a little under the table here, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know
yeah.
what? I got this for you. I got this for you, Chris. I'll get this one. You get dinner. And,
You just put the money in the cash register.
well, as I give him the money, I'm going to purposely touch his hand. Give him the money forcibly, but it touches him.
Sure. As you do so, you get a quick electric shock through your central nervous system, and your eyes roll into the back of your head. And suddenly, you're no longer in the horror shop. Instead, you are in a room you do not recognize. It might be the storage room of the shop. You can't quite say. There's like a step ladder and some shelves, but the boxes are all closed up. It could be somebody's closet. You are approaching from behind Matthew. Matthew is he's got up on the step ladder. It looks like he may be putting something away or grabbing something, and you pause for a moment watching him work. Your view is a little bit lower to the ground, but suddenly you begin to rise up until you are at the same height as Matthew on the step stool, and you begin to hover closer as your view focuses on clawed hands reaching out and then grasping around Matthew's head, and then the scene goes and fades to black. As your eyes roll back out your head and you're looking at Matthew at the present moment, he looks at you with concern and he's like, dude, are you all right? That was fucking gross.
Oh, sorry. That was
Are you hungry?
Yeah,
Are you
I'm
hungry?
a little. Yeah, I just got.
He's a little anemic.
I've got I got like gastrointestinal problems. I need to eat something, or else sometimes like it.
You eat
just
a banana or something.
Yeah,
That's what I keep telling him. That's what I keep telling him.
I hate bananas though.
But they're
hate
good
them.
for you.
They're
Your eyes
terrible.
are gonna roll back and
You
you
look
never
like dick.
come
I will
back.
give you that. Yeah.
Plus, they just taste like nasty. Anyways, take care of yourself. All right. Don't.
Justin, roll me a D2.
A D2.
Yep.
All right.
And
I don't even think there is a D2 on this. 1D2. Can I do that? I can. 2.
You take two stun damage.
Oh.
Using your ability to see into the future does slowly cause sanity damage, which I'm tracking in a completely separate.
Oh boy.
So you've had one vision since we started hunting, so I'll be keeping track of that. Also, when you do use it, it will cause you some like physical weariness, which is going to be reflected by stun damage, similar to how Christopher's afflicted if he tries to see anyone's aura. Yeah. And these are special abilities I gave the players as part of their becoming hunters, and they're actually the gifts they're trying to get rid of. I'm going to ask you guys where you're heading, but then I'm going to jump back to our FBI folks. Where are you guys heading next?
The diner? Or what?
Yeah, well, yeah, probably to see if, was her name Ruth?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly Ruth.
Well,
you guys
I
have
mean,
to
stepping outside of this of the store, I assume I've seen this before, right?
You know he's got some issues with that, so you probably have an expectation of what it is, yes.
All right, Justin, what was that?
Yeah, he's gonna die.
Do we know when?
I couldn't tell what time. I just know that whatever it was
Did it look like
normal.
he was in the shop? Does it look like it was at his home?
It was at his shop. He was putting stuff away, and he was on a ladder, and whatever it was, kind of floated up to be at his level, and then just grabbed him around the neck. I didn't see exactly how it happened, but he's going to die. We might need to... Actually, do I know if that's 100% that person is actually going to die, or is it sometimes
go ahead and say that there's some uncertainty there, only because this is the first time you've actually had to use it in a hunting scenario, so something you'll have to learn over time.
Yeah. But yeah, something is going to want him dead and is going to try to kill him.
I mean, we could call in an anonymous bomb threat, get him out of there.
I don't know when it is, though.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know when it is.
So diner is where you guys are going to chat.
Diner, yeah.
All right, you guys, Patrick and Michael, you enter the morgue area. Your visitor ID swipes you in. The guard at the area, he goes to stop you. What do you say as he kind of stands up and approaches? It is a middle-aged male who looks a bit tired, like he's probably been working overnight. This isn't the beginning of his shift. He does have a holstered stun gun and belted handcuffs. He's not showing any lethal weapons.
You're
You're
muted. Pat.
muted?
Does he have a name showing?
Yeah, he's got a name badge. It's going to be, what do you call a guard? Do they have like a title? Fuck it.
Mister, if you're polite.
Monsieur. Last name is going to be Douglas.
Oh, Mr. Douglas.
Agents, how can I be of service to you this morning?
I don't think you have to worry about us. We're just popping in routine, heading into the morgue to check out some details, make sure that the paperwork's all in order, and head on out of the way.
Oh, all right. Did I miss an email saying you guys are stopping by? Usually we get a heads up if we're having outside investigators come in.
You're right. Usually you do. However, in the sensitive nature of what we're investigating, we're often not giving heads up. Long story short, political matters make people change their behaviors, and we want to make sure that we avoid that.
All
It's okay.
right.
Everything's in working order. I've already checked in with the front desk, so.
Yeah, I see you have visitor passes. That's fine. Okay, what case you guys attached to? You hear about that bloodless fella?
Yeah, unfortunately. Horrible sound of what happened. Just some like I said, I haven't seen the body yet. We're just here to check for signs of, gangland violence, verify whether that is or is not the likely scenario. Chances are it's, what you guys are close to the ocean. You got some weird invasive species of insect. I don't know what's going on in New England these days, but
He rubs at some like slight facial hair growth that he's got going. He says, yeah, you live in Arkham long enough and you'll see some weird shit. I grew up here, so bloodless guy, headless dude, fish people, depending on what tabloid you're reading, whatever.
yeah, my favorite's always been Bat Boy.
Bat Boy, yeah, he's all right. I'm more a fan of the Jersey Devil.
Not bad.
I don't know where any of the busybodies are this morning. I haven't seen any of the texts come in. Do you need help in there?
No.
Do you know where the reports are located?
The clipboard should be next to the body. It should be on either if they're on the table, it should be on the table, or if they're in the freezer, it should be right on the door. You guys should be able to find that. And yeah, I'm not really qualified to go in there. I mostly just manage the sign-in sheet, which he holds out to you guys. I need your John Hancocks on here, and if I see a tech come by, I'll put them in for you. Just please don't do anything other than look until they get there.
Not a problem.
All right.
I start looking for something in my pocket, pull out a notebook, open it up, and try to flip to like the third or fourth page, and I found some like I grabbed the wrong. I look at Michael and go, I think I grabbed your new notepad. It's empty. God, I already started taking notes, but memory like a sieve. We came in on a flight we were not expecting, as you can see. It's just not good. I can't remember what's the name of the head ME.
The head ME. Yeah, you're looking for Sam Hill.
That's what I thought. That's right, because I made that joke. What in the Sam Hill? I write it down. I'm sure he gets that all the time. I won't say it to him.
I haven't heard that one, but I'm definitely using it.
Well, you didn't get it from me.
No, yes, I did. Oh, I'm sorry. It's early. I haven't had coffee. It's actually late. I shouldn't have coffee. They'll go right through me and I need to sleep. yeah, sign off on the sheet, and then you guys can head on in. And if you need any help, holler. But like I said, just don't touch shit.
Okay. I sign in with not my own handwriting.
That's fine. And you're using your fake names, and that's totally fine. You
Agent Clapton.
Yeah, you gain access into the morgue, and the morgue is pretty much what you expect from TV. There's a couple of operating tables where there may be a body or two covered in a sheet, and then in the back wall there are these square metallic doors inset into the wall that you would guess when you open probably pulls out a tray with bodies on them.
Okay.
The guard sits back at his desk area at the front of the door. He is not watching what you guys are doing. He opens up like a Sudoku book or something.
I look at Mike and go, "That's how it's done." No response. Okay.
I was thinking up my smartass comment.
I immediately start looking for signs of where that body is. Is there anything out in the open about where
I imagine each location is labeled clearly.
Yeah, Michael follows the label from one side, you follow from the other. You find him. He's been put away. He's not out on the table. And there is a pod for him for Caleb Francis.
I pull her open.
All right. As you guys pull it open, Caleb's in a body bag. You guys can unzip the body bag, no problem. And as you guys do, the corpse of Caleb is extremely desiccated. I don't remember if you guys found a picture of him or not in his apartment.
You did. No, actually.
He wasn't much for pictures. Caleb in this his current form looks more like almost like he's mummified. The skin is pulled tightly over the bones and brittle, or looks brittle to the touch. His jaws open and his gums are even shrunken and receded. So he looks almost more skeleton, with his flesh taped on or like pulled as tightly as possible over. He had mentioned being overweight in the journal. There is no evidence of that on the physical person. The bites that were mentioned on the news, do appear to be small holes, and now that the skin isn't covering them up or healing over them or causing any more welts to grow, they do seem to be almost maybe slightly bigger than a thumbtack prick. You know what, let's call it let's see what else would say. The bites are probably a centimeter in diameter. We'll go with that. It's a little bit bigger.
Size of a dime or something.
Yeah, let's go with that. Maybe a dime, maybe a little bit smaller.
Based on how they are, does it actually look like, say, bite marks of
Hard to say. So if you were knowing what you know about vampires and their jagged ass teeth, you'd expect a bite would leave a jawline teeth mark, right? No, every bite is that little we'll call it it's a little half a dime. I don't know how big a centimeter is. I can't fucking do that. We'll call it half a dime in diameter. And these bites are all over his body. They are on his chest, his shoulders, his neck, his face, his thighs, his torso throughout, and there are probably 100+ of these little holes all over his body. There are some older ones that have welted over like a mosquito bite, so it looks like a pod of skin is kind of over it, and it looks irritated. Again, it's very desiccated and drawn out. He does have a bit of hair in his head still that actually didn't get any change, so he's got a dark brown hair. Still on this kind of drained looking body.
Would it be safe to say that there's that this does not back up any vampire lore that we would have come across?
Yeah, they're the holes are uniform, not uniform where they are in the body, but they're uniform shape and size. It doesn't look like someone tore at his flesh or took jagged bites. It would almost be
And I just wanted to verify that.
Nope, that's perfect.
Okay.
Justin at one point had mentioned what if it was a swarm of mosquitoes? Out of anything that you guys have discussed so far, the swarm of mosquito theory sounds closer. Or if a vampire had lost its teeth and was using a goddamn straw and was poking them over and over again to get at that blood, maybe something like that.
Space style.
Yeah.
Does he and has he already been autopsied? Does he have the lie incision and all that good stuff?
Yeah, they already cut him open and everything.
Okay.
The notes on the chart simply say died of whatever happens when you lose your blood.
Massive blood.
Sure, massive blood loss is what caused him to expire. He wasn't like strangled or drowned or anything. It was the blood loss that killed him.
I look under the fingernails.
Yeah, as you get under there, like you maybe pull out like a magnifying glass. There is skin flakes under there. Maybe even a little bit like dried blood too.
I take a look for some baggies, or actually, I probably brought my own.
You probably brought your own. You can bag some of that stuff, sure.
Yeah, I take a sample from underneath the.
I make sure he puts on gloves so he doesn't put his own skin samples in there.
Yeah, you guys are doing it professionally. I'm not going to fight you on that.
And then
You'd never know with you.
No, I said last episode I won't catch you out on like FBI hunting you guys down, like with your DNA, unless you guys really fuck up, and then we have to be careful about it. I'll let you know when you have to be careful. I won't catch you out on that.
And then, do I see anything in the office that looks like a copying machine or anything like that?
It'd be back out in the hallway. You probably walked past it, past the security guard.
Okay, then I'm just gonna start taking pictures of the documents.
Sure. And as you like have your phone out, and Michael's like maybe trying to look around like the bodies, anything else weird, you do notice that there is some bruising around the neck, like hands or something maybe. It's not like a clear fingerprint situation going there, but like it could be like someone had held his throat, but because it wasn't clearly related to the cause of death, they chalked it up to unrelated. There are no other like real odd notations in the documentation. And as
it's hard for bruises like those to pop out anyways when there's no blood to.
Yeah, the skin is extremely fragile. It could have he could have fallen after whatever happened or something. So yeah, like there might be like notes on like the coroner's note saying like possible wasting disease. How long did you look like this? Maybe follow up with friends and family, or especially for like recent pictures. There was actually in the news, family actually let a family member die of starvation basically in their own home not too long ago. This is real life. And the coroner's kind of like references that case as maybe.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
IRL, like in real life, there was a case. I don't know where it was, but it made the news where a family left their son and brother. It was one person, but the family, that was a mother and sister to the person, let him literally starve to death in their own home. Like they were fine. He was sick. Like he definitely had some illness going on, but they let him starve. And there's pictures of him looking like a walking skeleton, and then he dies. And there was a big court case with them, I think, being found guilty of some shit. Look it up. It's real, but like that's kind of what he refers back to as maybe a situation like that. Very strange. Underlined strange. And as you guys are snapping pictures, the door behind you opens into the office, and an older professional looking woman with short brown hair, like cut very short, comes in and says, "What are you doing in my what do you call it? What are you doing in my morgue?" And she stands like authoritatively with hips on her shoulders. Nope. Hands on her hips. That's how that works.
Hips on her shoulders.
Authoritatively with hands on her hips. She's got a lab coat kind of open back, and it says Dr. Hill on her coat. And that is where we're going to wrap up the scene because it is 10:42 and I was not watching the time at all. So I'm going to give our quick outro and then we'll jump into the after party. For folks who are listening to us on audio podcasts, I do mention the after party sometimes. That's a Twitch special. You get to chat with us in the chat, watch us kind of gossip with each other about the episode that just happened, or talk to us about things that you want to talk about. So if you're ever interested, even if you didn't catch the full episode because you don't want to spoil yourself, consider popping around 10:30 for the after party every Tuesday night EST. Otherwise, though, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our 5th episode of Supernatural. Next week will be slightly weird because we're going to have some people out, and I don't have a story reason yet, but I'll find one. I look forward to that next week when we play again, Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. EST on twitch.tv/neverSplitTheParty. Until that time, I just want you guys all to remember, never split that goddamn party, you pieces of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Patrick. Oh, wait, yeah, I am. Next year.
I mean, yeah, us.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody that isn't Michael and Chris.
Yeah.
All right.